The ignorant people say, I am the individual, supported by God. So the individuality is claimed and God plays the role of the protector, supporter. I am the individual and there is this world out there causing. I am the individual and there is this world out there causing me suffering. It gave me the hope of joy. Satisfaction, bliss, happiness, contentment. It gave me all that hopes. And finally, what it gave me? Suffering, bondage, etc. Therefore, I am the individual, had a hope that world will give me joy and happiness, realized that world is giving me only pain and sorrow and suffering. I come to God and God is the supporter. God will help me to get out of the problems. Correct? This is the junior level. Junior means kindergarten level. Junior level, kindergarten level, wrong level also. That's why we have to outgrow that. If it is the right one, then this itself becomes ultimate. The very fact that you are calling it as junior, lower level, elementary level means there is something that is advanced, much different than this. What is the difference now? Ganesh, carefully follow. What is the difference? How much ever you solve the problem is reappearing again and again and again. It is resurfacing again and again and again. At this point of time, Vedanta comes and says, there is no managing the problem. There is no solving the problem. There is the recognition that there is no problem. Again, there is no managing the problem. There is no handling the problem. There is a simple recognition that there is no problem. Sir, Adipti sir, I am experiencing it. No. Are you able to connect now? Srikanth. Adipti sir, problem illan solla mudiyum. Na da anubavichin irukkrena evlo thala valikudhu enakku. How much of headache I am getting, how much of stomach ache I am getting, how much of heart burns I am getting, how much of crying is happening, how much of pain I am going through. Neenga paatla simple ukandukittu there is no problem. Na? How do I accept it? Okay, go back. Cry some more and then you will come back to this understanding. Why? Because from the junior level, you have not done the necessary work to come to the advanced stage. What is advanced stage? Recognizing that trying to solve the problem is mithya. Why? Because there is no problem. But pain, sir. Correct. As long as there is the body, as long as body is there, there will be a pain. So pain belongs to body, not you. Pain belongs to the body, not you. I am not the body. That's where you say, I am not the body. But people are insulting me, sir. That pain, people are insulting me that. Okay. Who's going through that? The mind. And you say? I am not the mind. Nobody is respecting me, sir. Much ever I do, nobody is, even the security is not, even the building security watchman is not respecting me. Honor and dishonor belongs to the intellect. And you say, I am not the I am not the intellect. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. Why? Because the instruments will go through this, and your identification with the instrument, which is ignorance, and because of this ignorance, what the instruments go through, you say it as I go through. How to reinforce this idea again and again and again? The beautiful method they use is this. Are you able to follow now? So the experience. What is the experience? I am going through this. What is this? A problem. That is where the classic rope snake example. Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. The rope snake example. Rajju means rope. Sarpa means Rajju is rope. That's a Sanskrit. Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. Rope snake analogy. I don't know why I'm not. I didn't say about you. I said simply that's how the Sanskrit. Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. Because she's sitting there, everybody's laughing at her rope. She's not a rope. She's a snake, not a rope. Yeah, she's a snake, not a rope. Brahman, she's not Brahman, no. So, a person seeing the snake. At one level, you can say there is no. At one level, you say there is no snake. But that doesn't help the person. That doesn't help the person who is suffering. So how to help that person? So you calm him down. First you calm that person down. Yeah. How do you calm that person down? Raj. How do you calm that person down? Sakshi comes with a very big problem. Yeah. You can't laugh at her problem, isn't it? At LKG, she has a very big problem. At the LKG level, she has a very big problem. And when she comes and when she tells her problem, and if you laugh, what will happen? What she will do to you? She will. So what you should do? First, calm her down, isn't it? You calm her down. How do you calm her down? How do you calm her down? By accepting there is a problem. You know there is no problem. You know that there is no problem. You know that. The other doesn't know that. So what do? This is what the Shastra does. This is what the Guru does. This is what the Shastra does. So they accept what? Okay, let us talk about the problem. What is the problem? The snake. The snake is the problem. Having accepted the snake, the person calms down now. Having accepted that there is a snake, the person is calm. Why? Because the experience is accepted as real. Avladhan calming down. To calm down the person, you accept what you are experiencing is real. Now the person is looking at you. What do I do to get out? No, it's okay. If you it will go away by itself. Don't worry. Time will take care. Time will take care. You will find out another problem, and this problem will become. Yeah, don't worry. Time heals. They say no. Ravindran. Time doesn't heal any problem. Yeah, all that you will do is what? Very soon you will pick up. Very soon you will pick up another problem, and this problem will disappear all by itself, isn't it? That's how we solve. That's how we solve problems. Here is a seeker. Here is a spiritual person who has understood the fallacies in this method, who has understood that nothing has been sorted out. I'm only cheating myself. I'm only fooling myself. And then he comes and asks, what is the way out? Then the discussion starts. What is the discussion? All that you see as the snake is supported by what you see as the snake is supported by the rope. The unseen rope supports the unseen rope supports the snake. The seen snake is supported by the unseen rope. Now the first statement, verse number 4. Rope pervades the snake. Rope pervades the snake. So all that you see is the rope pervading the entire snake. Now replace rope with Brahman and snake with world. Brahman pervades the world. Snake is in the rope. Second statement. Snake is in the rope. Rope pervades the snake. Then comes the second one. Snake is in the rope. When we say snake is in the rope, the corollary is rope is not in the snake. This twist is too much to digest. Then we say, okay, okay. We will deal with the snake. Handle the snake, don't go near the snake and all that. Because the person is not yet ready for the person is not yet ready to go to the next level. Having gone through that level, then comes the third. What? The rope remains unaffected by the snake. The rope remains unaffected by the snake. Bhuta Bhrit cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Here we are paraphrasing verses 4 and 5 in order to understand this. Bhuta Bhrit cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Meaning, they are not, I am in them, I am not dependent on them. I am not in them, they are not in me. They are dependent on me, I am not dependent on them. The wave is dependent on the ocean. The pot is dependent on the clay. The ornament is dependent on the gold. The gold is not dependent on that. Are you able to follow? How does it work? Technically understand it. First, we establish a cause and effect relationship. First, you have to establish a cause and effect relationship. Once a cause and effect relationship is established, that's how you calm down. Vedanta Vedanta class. We never thought this kind of analysis and all is Vedanta. We thought Vedanta class means some Puranic class, some story will be, some Katha Kalaksheba style, some story will be told, some good messages will be given, some motivational statements will be given, and then you will go out very very motivated, and all the motivational statements, all the motivations will be taken away by if you have to wait for the lift for 2 minutes, all the motivational statements will go. Why? Because that is the power of motivational statement. It doesn't really, it tickles you, but it doesn't really, but it won't really do anything to you. They will follow. So first, establish the cause and effect relationship. So problem means first thing in a problem is what? You go to the doctor. You are having a disease, the effect. First question you will ask is what? First question you will ask the doctor, what? You will not ask for medicine, do you? What you will ask? How did it come? And the doctor also has to give some story now, isn't it? That's why he'll say, do blood test, do this test, do this, do the scanning, do something, and then something he will point out and say, this is the cause. But now that he has found out the cause, and then you ask, what is the medicine? And he will give you a medicine. Correct? This is called establishing Karya Karana Sambandha, cause and effect relationship. Where there is a cause and effect relationship established, what is accepted? There is a problem, and there is the cause to the problem, and what you are going through an effect, and then there is a solution to it. Are you able to follow? So there is the Karya Karana Sambandha, cause and effect relationship is established. And then when you say the cause, this you have to remember chapter 7. You won't remember, but still I am saying. Try and remember chapter 7, where we spoke about the Upadana Karana, the Adhisthana Karana, and Vivarta Upadana Karana. Don't ask me to repeat all that, because I forgot. So there we spoke about so once you establish the cause and effect relationship, then you go into elaborating the various type of causes. Are you able to see how they are taking you step by step? How the analysis is so methodical and so systematic. First, they establish the cause and effect relationship. And then in the cause and effect relationship, there are various causes. What are the various causes? Material cause, instrumental cause, all these various types of causes. Pot for the pot as an effect. What are the causes? There is a material cause. What is the material cause? Clay is the material cause. And then there is an instrumental cause. What is the instrumental cause? What is the instrumental cause? The wheel, the stamba, all that is the instrumental cause. And then there is the intelligent cause. What is the intelligent cause?
Potter.
The potter. Because potter, being an intelligent entity, connected all this together and the pot came about. Correct? First you establish the cause and effect, and then you split the cause. That's why it's called hair splitting, isn't it? Yeah, that's why it's called hair splitting. And then what do? They slice. First they will take out a single strand hair, and then they will go on slicing that single strand. Just one strand they take, and that is sliced. After a point, you will be the listener will be lost, the speaker will be lost, everybody will be lost, and finally appreciation also will happen. Fantastic, sir. That is the fantastic. That is the beauty. So first you establish the cause and effect relationship. Having established the cause and effect relationship, what do? Various causes. Then the question is, if does the effect, carefully follow, does the effect affect the cause? Does the effect affect the cause? No, it doesn't affect, because there is no association. There is no association. What is the effect? The pot. Does the pot affect the clay? No, there is no affectation. Why? Because why?
Pot is clay.
The pot is nothing but clay, Nama Rupa. So here, what do we understand? The clay appears as pot. The appearance is introduced here very slowly. In the appearance purinjada, next mithyanradu puriyum. So appearance is introduced very slowly. What is the introduction of appearances here? What you see as ornament is nothing but gold. What you see as ornament is nothing but gold. Then what is the connection between ornament and gold? Nama Rupa, names and forms. In and through the names and forms, what remains is gold. In and what is this world? Nama Rupa. In and through the various Nama Rupa of the world, what is it, the truth? Brahman. This is stage number 1. Why do we call it as stage number 1? Because we are accepting a world, Nama Rupa, and then supported by gold. Verse number 5, what he does, he negates that completely. Verse number 5, all that the examples, all the elaborations that we give, very beautifully developing the thoughtful material cause, instrumental cause, that cause, clay, pot, gold, ornaments, ocean waves, all that is given, which is like correct. And then finally, when you say correct, this is what correct? Totally it's completely wrong. How do you understand this now? Carefully follow the 4 statements now. Everything is in Brahman, which is Vishwadaram. Statement number 1. Statement number 2 is what? Instead of saying everything is in Brahman, you say Brahman is in everything. Are you able to follow? In what form Brahman is in? The inner essence. In Avyayam. All that is told. You should remember all this, sir. Are you able to remember all this? Okay, even if you don't remember, what do? I assume that you remember and we continue. So first we say, the world is in God. And then we say, God is in the world. And then we say, what do you see as world is nothing but Nama Rupa supported by the world. So what is established here? To put it in one word, to put it in one concept, what is established here? The cause and effect relationship is established. Technically, it is called Karya Karana Sambandha. cause and effect relationship is established. Having established the cause and effect relationship, then we go to the next. So what is it establishing? Karya Karana Sambandha, cause and effect relationship means the effect is nothing but the cause, merely Nama Rupa. அவ்வளவுதான். இது வரைக்கும் சொன்னதெல்லாம் புரியலன்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் remember this. What you see as effect is nothing but the cause as a mere Nama Rupa. So what you see as world is nothing but Brahman. Correct. Then the discussion is taken to the deeper level in verse number 5. What is the discussion here? In the cause and effect relationship, now we are discussing the cause and effect relationship. Prasad. In the cause and effect relationship, the cause is Satyam, the effect is Mithya. The cause is Satyam, the effect is Mithyam. Just now you proved. How can you disprove it? First you establish the cause and effect, and then you dissect the cause and effect separately. Are you able to follow? In this, how can you say this? The cause is Satyam and the effect is Mithyam. How can there be a relationship between Satyam and Mithyam? Obviously, there cannot be a relationship. There cannot be a relationship between Satyam and Mithyam. Why? This is where we take the support of Mandukya, Gaudapada and all that. Relationship can happen only between the same order of reality. Relationship can happen only at the same order of reality. Relationship cannot happen between two different levels. The boy in the waking state cannot marry the dream girl, isn't it? Can they marry? It's my dream girl, sir, they say. Or a dream, it's the dream person. In the waking state, there cannot be a relationship between the two. Are you able to follow? Either both should be dreaming or both should be awake. They got married because both were dreaming, isn't it? Even if one is awake, marriage wouldn't have happened. So, Satyam and Mithyam belongs to two different orders of reality, and there can never be a connection. So at first level you say there is a cause and effect relationship. At the second level you say there is no cause and effect relationship. These are verses 4 and 5, which is what I wanted to conclude today. First you establish the cause and effect relationship, and then you say there is no cause and effect relationship at all. How do you establish that there is no cause and effect relationship? To understand the Mithya, what do you have to understand? The Nama Rupa has to be understood. That's how the connection happens. To understand it as mithya, you got to understand the nama rupa. And whenever we say nama rupa, the other two are actually it is four. Nama, rupa, guna, karma. So whenever we say nama rupa, the other two are implied in that. Nama, rupa, guna, karma. So what is this world? It has a name, it has a form, it has a specific function, and it has a property. It has a name, it has a form, it has a function, it has a property. Anything, all the four is mithya. Okay, sir, how can you say that it is mithya? What is the proof that it is mithya? The proof that it is mithya is, how do you say that it is mithya now? What is the proof to say that it is mithya? Are you experiencing it? Are you experiencing nama, rupa, guna, karma? Are you experiencing? Yes. The very fact that you are experiencing it is means mithya. Now, how can you say experiences as mithya? Anshu. How can you say experiences as mithya? Experiences are mithya. How? At the elementary level, even this shall pass away. At the advanced level, they have a beginning and an end. Therefore, it is mithya. Again, I repeat. How do you say experiences as mithya? At one level, you say even this shall pass away. The good thing comes, it passes away. The bad thing comes, it passes away. Agama payinaha anityaha. That is already established. As already established in chapter 2, Agama payinaha anityaha. All that you experience comes under the category of mithya only. Then how do I experience the satyam? Finally, the person will ask this question. What? How do I experience the satyam? Shailesh, what you will give the answer? Start from the beginning. Go back and start from the beginning. Why? Because the definition of mithya is what? That which is temporary. Add another word.
Dependent.
Add another word. Temporary, dependent, add another word.
Existence.
Temporary, dependent, another word. And that's the key. Appearance. It is an appearance. Appearance means it's there. It's there. How long it will be there? As long as you see it. How long it will take for me to get out of the snake, sir? How long it will take? How long it will take? As long as you see the snake. If you see the snake for 30 years, it will take 30 years. If you see the snake for 300 janmas, it will take 300 janmas. If you don't see the snake if you understand that there is no snake, you are free immediately. Are you able to follow? You are free immediately. Now you are free. So what is mithya? Temporary, dependent.
Yes.
You should not use the word existence. You should use the word
Appearance.
appearance. If you use the word existence, the Sat has come, the reality has come. Are you able to follow? That's why you should not use the word existence. You should use the word appearance. It is temporary, dependent appearance. Dependent means adhara. Something is supporting it.
Yes.
Dependent means it is dependent on something. Brahman, correct. Temporary. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma and all is temporary. In effect, it is only an appearance. In effect, it is only an appearance. Where does the snake exist? Where does the snake exist? In the mind, correct. Ram Subramaniam. Perfectly correct. Where does the snake exist? In the mind. Where does the problem exist? Snake is the problem? No, replace it. Where does the problem exist? Huh? Mother-in-law, sir. Father-in-law, sir. Politician, sir. Weather, sir. Horoscope, sir. Savvadosha, ma? Savvadosha also. Where does the snake exist? In the mind. It means the mind is capable of. It means the mind is capable of imagination. The mind is capable of imagining. Appearance means imagination. Are you able to understand now? Where does it exist? In the mind. Where does the snake exist? In the mind. It means the mind is capable of imagination. And that mind which is imagining, Shastra comes and says, the Guru, the Shastra comes and says, stop imagining. Stop imagining. Since you got so used to imagining, slowly you have to stop. You cannot stop. You cannot stop all of a sudden. Even though the truth is it's only imagination, because of the long habit of imagination, it has to be done gradually. So gradually, what are you getting out of? Imagination only. So from the beginning, you are getting out of what? Imagination. That is why the person, enlightened person says, what problem got sorted out? Imagination stopped, that's all. So there's nothing that got sorted out. All that had happened is what? Imagination stopped. Where is the world? In the mind. That's why they say, conquer the mind, you have conquered the world. In Yoga Vasishta, Rama says, who is the greatest hero? Who is the greatest conqueror? The one who has conquered the mind. All this is so nice to hear, but nothing works. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Krishna said, the greatest hero is one who has conquered the senses. Vashehi yashyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. Vashehi yashyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. If the senses are in control, the mind is in control. So, what is the way to get out of the imagination? Also, they talk about how stop imagining. What is imagination? Through the senses, I can get happiness. Through the mind, I can get happiness. That imagination you stop. Are you able to follow now, Vijay? In the imagination. Through the senses, happiness can be got. Through the senses, through the mind, something you acquire, security can be gotten. Something you do. So what is the right understanding? The right understanding is all this is a product of imagination. Imagination means even this shall, at one level you call it as even this shall pass away. At another level you say it's an appearance. Unless you bring in this kind of the highest Gaudapada level of elaboration, 4 and 5 can never be read together, can never be reconciled. Invariably, what people will do, they will read these verses and they skip through these verses. And wherever people skip through, we focus on that. We focus on that only. Nor do beings dwell in me, bringing forth and supporting myself does not dwell in them. So this deliberate contradiction establishes the mithyatvam. Because what Krishna wants to establish? Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. That is what he wants to establish. In order to establish Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, he brings in these contradictions. Are you able to follow? Otherwise, it can never be reconciled. The plurality and the one Brahman, from how can one bring about an infinite projection? One is not the mathematical one. Please understand, when we say one means, don't take it as a mathematical one. Something that is existing, how can it bring about infinite projections? Because it is infinite in nature. Because it is infinite in nature, then only it can bring about the infinite projections. But adallam purille, sir. Go back to your own experience. How the one mind projected the plurality of the dream. Don't you understand that one mind had the capability of producing the plurality of the dream? It means what? The one has the potential, projects the plurality. And then where does it go back? The dream comes out of the mind as it were, and where does it go back? To the mind, to the source. So it comes out of the source and goes back to the source. This is the second statement. Bringing forth and supporting beings. Bhuta brinnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Bhuta brinnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. I bring them out and I take it back. Technically, this kind of analysis, just for academic purposes, I'm saying, if you don't even know the Sanskrit terms, it doesn't make any difference. Technically, it is called adhyaropa and apavada. Accepting it and then rejecting what you have accepted. முதல்ல இருக்குன்னு சொல்லணும், அப்புறமா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லணும். Then you will ask same question. What is the question that you will ask? Vijay, இருக்குதா இல்லையா? வருமா வராதா? அவ்வளவுதான். Isn't it? Nobody knows whether it is existing or. Are you able to follow now? Therefore, the mind, upon waking up, you understand the relationship between the mind and the dream, not when you are in the dream. When do you understand the relationship between mind and the dream? In the dream? No. Whatsoever you understand as the relationship between mind and the dream, in the dream is part of the dream, not the real knowledge. Because the real knowledge comes about only after waking up only you can ask the real, after waking up only you know the real connection. What is the real connection? The real connection between the mind and the dream. How the mind projected it and how it went back into the mind, how it seems to have a connection, how there is no connection. Even as you are experiencing it also, it didn't exist. This is the crux. You understand this? This is the crux. As you are experiencing it, it didn't exist. As you are experiencing it, it didn't exist. As you are experiencing the snake, did the snake exist? No, because snake was inside. No. Rope lane the snake varla. The rope was there, snake came out of. So the rope didn't create the snake. Who created the snake? You created the snake. So God is saying unnecessarily you created the world and you are coming and asking me to solve the problem of the world. Who created the snake? The snake vandhudu. God says. Srikanth, God will say, the snake vandhudu. Where did the snake come from? Your imagination. Where did the world come from? You imagine a problem and then you come and ask. Where there is no problem, you will imagine. And then you will come and ask. What is the cause? Imagination is the cause. What is the solution? Stop imagining. But some cause has to be told. So cause and effect relationship has to be established. Are you able to connect now? Having established some cause and effect relationship is established, which calms you down, and then you split, and then you slice it further, and then you slice it further, and then you slice it further. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says it's like peeling onions, he said. You peel and peel and peel and peel. Nothing will be there inside. That's the onion. That's peeling the onions. You understand that, no? Everything you peel, there will be a seed inside, isn't it? So big, you peel and peel, and what will be inside? Nothing will be inside. It's a covering, koshas. Upanishad calls it as koshas. It's a covering. It's a shroud. In reality, there is nothing. Bhuta brunnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. So, reading verse 4 and 5 now. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. So, you understand the avyakta murti. That is clear. Matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha. All beings dwell in me. I do not dwell in them. Oh, if you should not ask. We don't even remember that we studied a verse like this. Then verse number 5. Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. Bhuta brunnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Nor do beings dwell in me. Behold my divine yoga. Why do you call it as divine? It is called divine because it is associated with me. Brahman, he said. Since it is associated with me, it is divine. Pashyame yogam aishwaram bhuta brinnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. This is verses 4 and from here, we will take a break into all this hair splitting analysis. And he will start all this again in chapter 13 only. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga. Adu varaikum, he will not bring into this, he will not bring this analysis and all anymore. And very nice it will be. Why? Because we can read lot of Puranic stories, we can read lot of things we can hear from now on. And leaving the analysis here, where will he pick it up again? He will pick it up again in the 13th chapter. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhaga, and then the 14th, and then from 13th chapter it is analysis after analysis after analysis. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhaga, Gunatraya, Vibhaga, Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga, all that Vibhaga means splitting, analyzing. So with these two verses, Krishna will take a break from analysis. We will also take a break from analysis. From now on, what he will do, the theme of the Ishvara as in Rupa will start. He will set the background for, from now on, what he will do, he will start setting the background for Vibhuti Yoga and Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. He will start picking up things from the world and he will say, this is me, this is me, this is me, this is me. And then Arjuna will ask, தனித்தனியா சொன்னா எவ்வளவு பாக்குறது எல்லாத்தையும் ஒன்னா போட்டு காமிச்சிருங்க, he said. Put everything together in one form. And then he showed the Vishwarupa in chapter 11. He grew into like one giant balloon and he showed everything in one. Arjuna said, no, this I didn't ask. Show me the gentler form. Show me the gentler form. Reality and all I never asked. Why are you, just because I am asking a question, why are you exposing me to the reality? I am only asking, in the form of asking question, I have come for solace. As he tells in chapter 11. So when people come and ask questions, don't start answering. Because they are not coming for answering. They are only coming for solace. I am not saying this. In chapter 11, Arjuna says this. I didn't ask for this Vishwarupa and all. I asked for a gentler form. Show me your milder form, gentler form. Gentler form na பார்த்தா ஒரு ஹிதமா இருக்கணும். மனசு ஒரு ஆறுதலா இருக்கிறதுக்கு வந்தாக்க ரியாலிட்டி எல்லாம் சொல்லி அனலைஸ் எல்லாம் பண்ணி why are you complicating it further? All that I have come for is some solace. That is verse number, that is chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Beautiful two chapters, 10 and 11. And then Arjuna will come with a question. What is the question? Should I worship you with form or should I worship you without form? Because you have spoken about both. In chapter 7, 8 and the beginning portion of 9, you spoke about formless, etc. And now 10 and 11, you spoke about the form. Why are you confusing me? Should I worship you with form or should I worship you with form or should I worship you without form? For which the answer is, what is the answer? Arjuna, forget with form, without form. Develop the 35 qualities. Forget with form, forget without form. Start developing the 35 qualities. That's how it keeps, that's how it will go up to chapter 12. So next class we'll continue with verse number 6 onwards. Clarifications?
May I have clarifications?
Yes, Prasad. Yes, Cholum.
Like verse number 4,
Yes.
the point 3, ultimately the analysis came down to cause and effect. Brahman is me, I mean, all these analysis, cause and effect of the word,
Yes.
that is the imagination is
Yes.
taken up.
Yes.
Immediately after in the 5th verse,
Yes.
that is immediately contradicted. The cause and effect has
Yes.
split into Satya and Mithya. Okay.
Yes.
So this Mithya, that's this Satya is not cause for this Mithya, right?
Yes. Correct.
And so this cause is independent of it.
Yes.
And sometimes, we've heard this, and this cause without effect, that is causeless cause or something.
Correct. Exactly correct.
We can have to think that way.
Yes. Yes. There is no cause.
No
First,
cause.
yes. First you establish the cause and effect relationship, and then you say there is no cause and effect relationship. Are you able to follow now?
Yeah.
Cause and effect relationship means reality. No cause and effect relationship means imagination. Are you able to follow? Where you establish the cause and effect relationship, it becomes real. Where you say there is no cause and effect, it is called, that is called mithya. Correct. Think about it. It's not that difficult, but not that easy also. Venkatachalam. Bharat. Anshu finished. Bharat. Is imagination a comparison? Bharat. Is imagination a comparison? The answer is yes and no. Yes, at one level, imagination is, because for you to imagine, you need, for you to imagine, there has to be something there upon which you imagine. Are you able to follow? For you to imagine, something has to be there upon which you imagine. So imagination is a superimposition on the reality. So imagination becomes a superimposition on the reality. The beauty of the imagination is what? Some property of the original will be reflected, some are imaginary. Bharat. So step number 1 is, for a superimposition to happen, there has to be an adhara, a reality. Now the superimposition will have some properties and qualities of the original, some will be imagination. The thickness of the snake, the color of the snake, the coiled snake is the properties of the rope. Are you able to follow? When you say the snake is coiled, the rope is coiled. When you say the snake is brown in color, the rope is brown in color. When you say the snake is coiled, the rope is coiled. Are you able to follow? But then the snake doesn't have only these properties, no. Snake has one extra. What is it? It is hissing. It is poison. Now, does rope has poison in it? Can rope hiss? Can snake? Therefore, a imagination will have two sets. Imagination will have two sets. What are the two sets that imagination have? One is the properties, the qualities and properties of the original will be faithfully reflected in the snake, plus. That plus is what we call as That plus is what we call as imagination. So when you do this vibhaga, when you do this analysis, how do you work backwards now? First you understand the hissing is imaginary aspect of the snake. The 6 inches thickness is the ropes. Are you able to follow now? When you are doing the vibhaga, what quality is of the real and what is imaginary? The hissing is imaginary. The shoka, the pain, the shoka, suffering is imaginary. Why? Brahman being Ananda, the shoka is imaginary. Meaning, understand it as the thickness of the rope, the color of the rope, the coiled nature of the rope is what you see a snake. So when you are seeing a snake, 2 things you are seeing. What are the 2 things that you are seeing now? Something that is faithfully reflected as what is there in the rope is in the snake, plus something. So first you remove that plus something as imaginary, and whatever remaining is there, you see it as Brahman. So first what do we negate? There is no problem. Okay, then what is left behind? Ananda. And Ananda belongs to Brahman, Satchit Ananda. That's how you do. Are you okay, Bharat? Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Guruji, and very nice. Good part of.
Yes.
So, unless I'm just going back to your statement. It says you have to see something.
Yes.
Then only you can. As long as you see that object or it exists, right?
Yes.
Now, my imagination grows because of going back to your example of the snake and the rope.
Yes.
Unless I have seen a rope, I can
Yes.
never imagine a snake to be a rope or vice versa.
That's correct.
Correct? So the reason is imagination stems of what we have seen this far. If we
Yes.
have not seen anything,
Correct.
then we cannot imagine.
Yes.
So the question was, we cannot even imagine Brahman. Because
Yes, you cannot even. Yes. Yes. That is why Brahman is Satyam. Ever existing.
Correct. But it is all around us.
Yes, it is all around us. It is ever existing, but then not seen. Avyakta Murti.
Avyakta Murti.
Avyakta
I
Murti.
was trying to analyze that aspect of
Yes. Yes.
saying that
Angada.
imagine. Thank you. That is very nice.
Here he is saying Avyakta Murti, and the traditional and the Bhakti school they will say Antaryami.
Antaryami.
But then both are one and the same. There, but not seeable. Because you are seeing something else. Why not seeable? Because you are seeing something else. And both cannot be seen together. Both cannot be seen together. Correct.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Bharat. Venkatachalam. Reflected consciousness. Okay, what is he saying? What are you saying? They will unmute you. Yeah.
Yeah. It appears
Yes.
for the jiva, the only opportunity is that reflected consciousness that helps him to wake up from the dream
Yes.
and realize
Correct.
the truth.
Yes.
Otherwise, there is no. So that is the reflected consciousness. We can take it as Shastras or the pure conscious, manifested form of pure consciousness itself
Yes.
to realize the truth.
Correct. That is where you see it. What you see, you do vibhaga. You see something, and what you see, you analyze and split it. Because just because you are seeing it, it should not be there. It should stand the test of scrutiny. When you scrutinize it, you understand it isn't there. So in order to do scrutiny, you need to do something. You have to see something, no?
Yes.
That's the world. You follow?
Yes. And
Yeah.
the concept is so good
Yes.
that whatever we imagine
Yes.
has the properties of Brahman also.
Yes. That's
So
why.
it's so beautiful that the way
Yes.
it comes across.
Yes. In every imagination, there is a Sat aspect.
Yes.
There is a Sat aspect because, and the Sat only brings it an existence. But the superimposition is what we have to avoid. You don't bring in the Sat. You have to avoid the superimposition. Because Sat is there already. That's why the definition of Brahman, Sat, Chit,
Ananda.
Ananda. Sat means the isness. In English, how to explain Sat, existence? In English, we use the word isness. The tree is, the wood is, the table is. The tree is different, the wood is different, the table is different, but the isness is common. That isness is existence, Sat. So something has to exist first.
Yes.
Correct. Anything else?
It's, no, only the two concepts of
Yeah.
Siddhabhasha and also this
Yes.
superimposition. They
Yes.
are the basic
Yes,
two
they are the
major
basics.
concepts.
Yes. Yes. That major concept is the superimposition is the beauty. As I was explaining to Bharat, in the superimposition, you need to know to segregate the two.
Yes.
In the superimposition, if you know how to segregate the two, that's what Vibhaga is. That's what knowledge is all about. That's what Shastra does.
Okay.
So what the Shastras do, they take up the they don't call it a superimposition. By analyzing, they split it into two and they say this part of it is imagination, this part of it is the real, and ignore the imaginary part and focus on the real part. Yeah. One more clarification. Yes.
I have three questions.
Yes.
The first question with reference to Bharat, what he said,
Yes.
and you explained that one part is real and another part is imaginary. So I want to understand which part is real and imaginary. So my understanding is that the time-space causation, another eternal, all-pervading, infinite is a real aspect.
Yes.
And imaginary, as you said, is affectation and sorrow is imaginary because Brahman is Ananda.
Yes.
Is this understanding correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
In the Vibhaga, Ananda is the reality, the suffering is imaginary. Just as the coiled snake, in the rope and snake, where did the poison come from? For poison is not the property of poison, was never the property of rope. Similarly, shoka is never the property of shoka, misery is never the property of Brahman. Where did it come from then? Answer is imagination. Therefore, we say all problems are wherever there is a sorrow, it is imaginary. Correct. Yes.
Then second one, it says Avyaktam. So if a per se light cannot be seen, then how do I know light is there?
This is the same question as Venkatachalam. The question that she is asking is, repeat the question.
The verse says Avyaktam Murti, per se light cannot be seen.
Per se light cannot be seen.
Then how do I know light is there?
Then how do I know light exists? Because you are able to see an object, the fact that you are seeing an object is the proof that light exists. Are you able to follow? Because of you able to see an object is the proof that light exists. Though light cannot be seen. Per se light cannot be seen. Why? None of the instruments are capable of seeing the light. All our instruments are capable of seeing that which reflects the light. Correct? Huh? The object has, supposing, okay, I am sitting here, light strikes and reflects. That's how you see me sitting. I am sitting here, and if light passes through me, You can't see me. Therefore, the fact that you are seeing it is the proof that light exists. Are you able to follow?
So object light
Yes. In fact, in the Vibhaga, what do we do is the very fact that we see an object, we say two things are there now. What are the two things? Object and light. In this, the light is, the object is temporary, Namarupa, dependent, Mithya. So, are you able to follow? You see an object plus light. And then we conclude what you see is Mithya. The object is Mithya. What is not seen? What is not seeable? Which is the light is Satyam. Correct. That's the Vibhaga we conclude. Yes. Yeah, the third one.
So you said that even for an advanced student,
Yes.
the problem remains and it keeps resurfacing again and again.
Yes.
So when you say an advanced student, do you mean the student who has reduced the bulk of desire after doing Karma Yoga?
Yes.
Even to that student,
Yes.
this problem occurs?
No. For an advanced student, I didn't say it will occur. For a junior student, how much ever he solves the problems, it keeps reappearing again and again and again.
He said
For an
it's-
advanced student, it won't appear. For an advanced student, it won't appear.
So how would you define an advanced student?
Sannyasi. A person who has Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Refer to that verse. So, Karma Yogena Yoginam is the junior level. Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam is the advanced level.
So Chitta Shuddhi Ana Aparanda,
Chitta Shuddhi, Karma Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Bhakti Yoga, all that is done. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampat, all that is done. And the person has developed an inner maturity. That inner maturity is able to understand Brahman as Asangatvam. Asangatvam means, though associating, there is no association. You got to mature into that. That is the sannyas. You are in it and you are not in it. That is advanced student.
so to understand that experience is mithya, you have to reach that stage.
Yes.
So
Yes.
till then experiences are real.
Real. Yes. Till then experiences are real. At the junior level, you cannot say experiences are unreal. At the junior level itself means experiences are real. A person may imagine, I am advanced students, and come and ask question like an advanced student. Vedanta says, are you in pain? Does anything affects you? Yes, go back. Go back. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
This Agama Paina Anitya, Agama Paina and Anitya, they are same, no?
That I will take up later. About the Agama, Payana, and Nitya, are they one and the same or are they different? That I will take it up later because that requires some explanation. I can't go into that explanation now. Whenever some context comes, we will do that. Anything?
Yes, Anshu has a question.
Yes, Anshu.
Sir, a clarification that
Yeah.
when we say that avyaktam, when we analyze, we should cognize two aspects, object and isness.
Yes.
So would it mean matter and spirit in one sense, or is there a difference between the spirit and isness?
The isness and spirit are one and the same. In the equation, human equals matter plus spirit. In everything that exists, there are two things. Human being is a thing that you exist. In that existence, in everything that exists, there are these two things. What is it? There is a matter component and then there is a spirit component. The spirit component is isness. The matter component is nama, rupa, guna, karma. Correct.
Okay, sir.
Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Last one and I conclude. The concept of bhavana. There is another question. explain the concept of bhavana. Bhavana means bhakti. Bhavana means identification. Bhakti. When any action is done with Shraddha, that's called bhavana. Again, anything that you do with Shraddha, that's called bhavana. That's why colloquially we say, Edu pannalum, do it with bhavana, we say, isn't it? Even when you do a puja, do it with bhavana. What does doing with bhavana means? Action done with Shraddha is bhavana. Action minus Shraddha is mechanical. Bharat. Action minus Shraddha is mechanical. Action plus Shraddha equals bhavana. Understand it like that, it will be easy. So whatsoever you do, we say do it with bhavana. Yeah. Slipper out vacha kuda, you should do it with, you should do it not properly, because there's no English word for that Shraddha. Keep it properly in solla mudiyadhu. Yeah, do it with, see, there is a reverence, there is a respect, there is an affection, all put together in that. A respect, a reverential attitude. That reverential attitude is Shraddha. So what is bhavana? Action with reverential attitude is bhavana. Paatu paadna kuda bhavanaya paadnu, we say, no. Even when you sing, you should do it with bhavana. Even when you chant, you should do it with bhavana. What is bhavana? There is bhavana here, isn't it? Silas. Clear. What is bhavana? Two meanings it has. One is a reverential attitude. Another is showing nothing. Chuma bhavanaya pannidungo, they say, isn't it? Just show it as though you are doing it. That is not the meaning here. So bhavana has two meanings. The real meaning is, yeah. Tamil language la bhavala pannadhennuvaanga. Adhaan bhavanaku oru meaning, bhavalandrathu oru meaning. Summa bhavala pannadappaannuvaanga. Correct ah, Bharat? We speak that language, no? That's not bhavana. So what is bhavana here is action with reverential attitude. Summa bhavala kaatradhunu enna artham? Naivedyam kaatradhukku per bhavala nu artham. You know that naivedyam means you are showing. God is not eating that. You are not supposed to ask God eat. You are supposed to show God and close it. Yeah. Why? Because he is not going to eat it anyway. We are only going to, by him looking, it gets purified. The food that you are eating, you show it to him. And when he looks at it, it's purified. That the sight of it, he has to see it. That's all. Therefore, that's called, they show it. Sometimes inside the screen, you will get caught. No, you will see it, isn't it? They will just, in a flash, they will not keep it open for hours together and all. In a flash, it will be open and it will be closed. Because it is what is important there is the seeing, because that seeing purifies. But we don't use bhavana in that sense. We use bhavana in the sense of a reverential attitude that backs all that you do. Whatsoever you do, a reverential attitude backs it. So action with reverential attitude is called bhavana. Is it okay, Bharat? Yeah. Our unmute pannu.
Thank you, sir. There is one, the reason why I asked is, there is this stanza which you have there is the
Yes.
beautiful word called Bhuta
Yes.
Bhavana.
Yes.
Bhuta Bhavana, when you say Bhuta Bhavana will not exist,
Yes.
because anything which we are doing with the Indriyani is
Yes.
Bhuta.
Yes.
And Bhavana cannot come of any action that is performed out of Indriyani.
Yes.
So the reason why I was a little confused is the usage of that word when he says,
Yes.
this is, I am in me, you are not in, and all that.
Yes.
The chakkar is there, but the
Yes.
chakkar it just got this particular word. I was a little,
Yes.
I was
Bhuta.
not little, I was completely confused with that word.
Yes.
And when I looked at the book, Swamiji
Yes.
has written forthwith from the beings.
Yes.
So, and Bhavana, like you rightly said, it is something with the Shraddha. And
Yes.
in fact, I take it back to fourth chapter where he talks about the yajna, right? Because yajna is nothing but the bhavana which we do. You have to do it with and related to that.
Correct. That's correct.
So I was wondering where this bhuta bhavana came in, and bhuta I could imagine it is indriyani, but bhavana I could not get the meaning.
Yes.
So I will have to think through this, and thank
Yes.
you very much for giving me that.
Yeah. That's why I gave both the meanings.
Yes, yes,
Both the meanings, you can connect it. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Yeah. We continue with verse number 6 onwards. Next one.